Hi everyone, in this video we'll be talking about various components of a C++ program. So let's get started. So the first thing that you should know is something called token. So a token can be an identifier, or it can be literal or a symbol. So let's talk about each of these one by one. So the first thing is identifier. So what is an identifier? It is the name of an entity that is used in our C++ programs. So if you remember, we have defined many variables in our previous programs, like something like this, int sum. So sum is the name of a variable. So these names which are used in our programs are called your identifiers. Like your sum is an identifier, then main, std, which stands for standard. All these are valid identifiers. Now there are certain rules in order to name an identifier, right? So let us see what are the rules. So an identifier must start with a letter or an underscore. That means whenever you are using names in your C++ programs, it must start with a letter, any alphabet character, that is capital letter, or it might be small letter as well, or these names might start with, it may start with your underscore character also, like underscore abc. So this is also a valid name in C++. So these valid names that we are using in C++ are your identifiers. So this is the first rule that you should know, right? So let us compile our code. So if I compile my code, right, so it doesn't throws any error. That means this name is completely valid. Now if I write my identifier or the variable name something like this, let's say 3n, and let me save and compile it again. So it throws an error, which means we cannot start the name of an identifier with a digit, right? Now if you see, the identifier name can have 0 or more letters, right? Now how can we have 0 letters? So if I write my variable name something like this, int underscore, only underscore. So if you observe this name carefully, there is no letter used in this name. So we can say that it is having 0 letters, right? So we can save it, and for checking it, we can compile it. So since it compiles successfully, so having one or more than one underscore is completely valid in our C++ programs, right? So again, after the compilation, even if I put n number of underscores, it is completely valid. So the rule number 1, the identifier name must start with an underscore or a letter. This is your rule number 1, right? Next thing is that we cannot name our identifiers like this 4n. That means our identifier name must not start with a digit. So we can say that the name of the identifier must not start with a digit, right? So this is actually a wrong statement. So let us comment it out. Now if I write something like this, let's say int today is fine. So if I write the identifier name like this and put semicolon, so let's compile and check. So if I compile, so it gives error. That means we cannot have even spaces also, right? So an identifier can contain only letters, digits, or underscores. Except these things, we cannot use anything else, right? So these are few rules for naming the identifiers. So I hope the concept of identifier is clear. Now there are other names such as include, iostream, int, main. So all these are actually, you can say, keywords are involved, as well as your predefined identifiers. Now what is a keyword? So let's take a look at keyword actually. So a keyword is sometimes called a reserved word. That means this particular reserved word has some special meaning to the C++ compiler. So these are the list of keywords that you're seeing here are reserved in C++ language. That means if I write, so if I've written here int, so if you see the color of this sequence of characters changes. Why? Because this int has a special meaning to the C++ compiler. That means after int, if I write any valid name, then this is the variable whose data type is int. That means by reading this, our compiler understand that by writing this, I am trying to give some message to the compiler. So the moment our compiler will see this word, it will understand that we are defining a variable whose name is valid name and its data type is int, and it will set separate amount of space in order to store some data, right? So similarly, we can have this keyword like using namespace, right? Again int. So these are your keywords. Now if you observe one thing carefully, this IOStream is actually a name, right? So this is one kind of predefined identifier, you can say. So these names are also used in C++ programs, and we can even have user defined identifiers. So the names that you are using, that the programmer is writing for his or her reference, that is called your user defined identifier. Like this valid name is an user defined identifier, right? And this int, namespace, using, these are your reserved identifiers. That means these have special meaning for the C++ compiler. We cannot use these names in our identifier. Like I cannot write int. Means if you are thinking that I will be using this particular sequence of characters as a variable name, then it is not possible, because it is not a valid, it will not have proper meaning. Means compiler will not able to interpret your this statement actually, right? So it will create the confusion of the, it will create confusion for the compiler that whether it is a valid variable name or it is a keyword. So in order to avoid this kind of confusion, we must not use the reserved words in our programs, right? Because they have some special meaning to the compiler. So if you really want to use the name int, better you can use capital letter I. So from this, what conclusion do we get? Okay, let us compile it so that you can understand, right? So if I comment out this line and compile my code once again, so it gives an error. So I'm writing multiple, right? If you observe here, it is giving an error that multiple types in one declaration. So our compiler is thinking that we are declaring different, right, same data type 2 times, which is completely wrong. So our compiler is not able to interpret this particular line number 15. So as a result, it gets confused and throws error to you, right? So if you really want to use the name int, then you can use something called, right, since C++ is case sensitive language, you can take the advantage of that and you can write capital I here. So what conclusion do we get? That means we cannot use the keywords as user defined identifiers. That means the programmers cannot use the reserved words, that is your keyword, as identifier name. If it is really very urgent or very important to use your variable name and it is conflicting with your reserved keyword name, then you can use the advantage of C++ case sensitivity, right? Like I wanted to use here int, so what I did, I just changed the case or the one of the letter in order to make it distinct, right? Now if I compile my code, let me comment it out because this line has no meaning to the compiler. So if I compile it once again, right, so you can see it compiles successfully because this is now a valid identifier, right? So I hope the concept of identifier is clear to you. And keywords also I explained you that these are the reserved words that has some special meaning to the compiler, and this cannot be redefined by the programmer. So please keep in mind that these words, these keywords, our programmers cannot redefine it. So this is a very important line. Now the next part is your something called, so if you see some examples, so these are the keywords that we have used in our programs till now. So these are the reserved words which have some special meaning to the C++ compiler. Now there is something called predefined identifiers. So although these are not keywords, but these words like include, IOStream, main, these words are actually predefined in C++ programs, right? So it is better, it is a recommended practice that you should not use these names, since our language, right, our language reserves these words, although these are not keywords, but still because they are defined in the language by default, so that's why it is highly recommended that you do not use this kind of names, right? Like your include, iostream, main, standard, std, right, cout, cin, endl, these are your actually what, predefined identifiers, right? Next is your user defined identifiers. So these are the identifiers which we can use. Like I told you that it can be a single character, like it is a single letter, so it is completely valid. Then I told you that we can also have variable names starting with letter, and it can follow, right, we can just write digits after letters, but we cannot start the variable name with a digit. Then this is also valid, underscore, because every variable name or every identifier name should start with underscore, so this is completely valid. Sum, as you know, I don't have to tell you this. Average, result to, or counter, so these are all of these identifiers are valid user defined identifiers, right? Now these are some of the examples which are invalid, right? Now why this delete is not valid? Because it is a reserved word. Double, it's a reserved word, that means these are keywords actually, and you cannot use them. Again, count to, if you observe this character hyphen, this is again not allowed in our user defined identifiers. Sum, at the rate symbol cannot be used in our identifier. So these are the list of some identifiers which are invalid, right? Illegal identifiers, you can say. Now if you remember, we have written our program something like this, right? We have taken n1, so here they are writing num1 for representing first number, num2 for representing the second, and so on, sum for the sum of both the numbers. Now let's take a brief look at literals. So what is literal? So literals are the constants. These are what? These are the constant values that we use in our programs. For example, if I want to hard code my value, for example, let's say, if you remember, in the last program I have written something like this. Long double was the data type, right? And then pi equals to 22 by 7. So this is a constant, right? Because I have hard coded the value, so this is a constant actually. So although after evaluating this expression we will get a decimal number which will be treated as constant, that means this value is hard coded in this variable. So during runtime, unless and until we are writing the statement like this, something c in pi, it won't change. Or if I write a statement like this, pi equals to something, so our value of pi is not going to change. So these numbers, right, these constants which you are assigning to a variable, these are called your literals. So the other name of literal is also your constant, right? So we can write here that the other name of literal is also constant. So actually in our C++ programming language, we have various types of constants. We are having integer constants, right, like this integer constant 1 2 3 minus 2 0. So the set of, so these negative numbers, positive numbers including 0 are your integer constants. Similarly we can have floating point constant. So we'll discuss about these things in more detail when I'll be discussing about the data types in some future video. So if I write something like this, 1 point, let's say 1 2 3 0 9 0, or minus 1.112, so these are the examples of your floating point constant. Then we have something called character constant. So character constants are represented like this actually. So we write this in single quote. So we write character constant in single quote. So please mind one thing, that within the single quote we can only write a single character. Now you might say that in one of the previous video we have written something like this, single quote and then slash n. So although it seems that we are using two characters, these kind of characters are actually special characters, and these are called escape sequences. So this, if you observe this carefully, whenever we write something like this slash and any other character c, let us say, so this kind of sequence is called your escape sequence. That means if you observe carefully, this is the character used for new line. So these are called your escape sequences. That means these characters cannot be typed with keyboard. So if you want to print a new line on the screen, right, so you cannot write something like new line, right, you have to write this sequence of characters. So these are called your escape sequences. And again, escape sequences always starts with this slash and then a particular character. So for new line we are having slash and character. Similarly, if you want to put a long space bar, or let's say a many number of spaces you want to include, let's say you have the first letter A and you want to include many spaces, right, so you can use tab. So you can write, let's say ABC is one word, and after that you want to give some space, so you can use tab character. So tab is consisting of large spaces, right, ABC, after that any character, let's say XYZ set of characters. So these are the examples of your character constant. So even we can write the numbers. So if I write like this, single quote 1, so this is also your character constant. Why? Because this digit is present inside the single quote. If the digit is simply written, then it might be integer constant or it might be floating point constant. But whenever a single digit is written within the single quote, then this is also the example of your character constant. Now there is something, the next thing, there is something called string constant. So what is string constant? Whenever you write set of characters, within double quotes, then this kind of constants are called your string constant. So don't worry if you are not able to understand, although I tried my best to explain you these things. So even if you are having some confusion, don't worry, when we will discuss about data types in more detail, you will understand each of this in proper way, right? Now how can we assign this constant in respective containers? Like if you are using, let's say if you are using salt, so you will be storing salt in a separate container, you will be storing your sugar in a separate container. Similarly, for all these constants, our C++ programming language provides different containers. Like for storing integer numbers, we are having int data type. For using floating point numbers, we are having, right, for integers we are having int, then we are having data type short, long. So these are some of the data types that are provided by our C++ programming language to deal with integer numbers or integral values, right? Similarly, we have the data type float, double, and also long double. So these data types are used for storing your larger value of decimal, right? So if you want to store, let's say in float you want to store smaller values of your smaller floating point values, so we can write n2 equals to 3.141. so and if you want to use some larger values as compared to double, then we can write double, and then we can specify the variable name n3. I can write here these digits dot, so any number of digits after point, right? So there is certain range about all these data types that we'll talk about these things in later videos. So you know how to use data types, variables. So in this video my agenda was to explain you about tokens, right? And under the tokens we are having the identifiers, which I explained you, right? Then we discussed about what is called your literals. So literals are the constant, and then we also talked about keywords. So keywords are the reserved words that are having some special meaning to the C++ compiler. Literals, the constants that we use in our programs, and the valid names that we use to represent in our programs is called your identifiers. So for today's video, I'll keep it till this much only. So before ending the video, I would like to also give you the example of char, let's say. So char is the data type name and it can store single characters, right? Similarly, in order to store string, we need to use the data type string str, this is the variable name, and you can write here string, or you can write anything, this is a string, right, semicolon. So in order to include this, let us say if you want to use this string data type, you have to include a header file called string. So actually this string data type is not supported by C++ by default. So we need to include the header file string, which has all the functionalities, right, in order to use this string properly in our C++ programs. So I demonstrated you almost everything, but don't worry about data types. We will be discussing the data types in more detail in the future videos. The main concern for this video was to explain you the concept of identifiers, literals, and keywords. Right. So I hope that you understand everything. If you are having any problem, just shoot your doubt in the comment section. I'll try my best to answer you all possible doubts. Thank you.